The night settled quietly over the small town, the kind of peaceful silence that makes you feel safe, until you realize that safety is just an illusion. I remember that evening like it was yesterday, even though I wish I could forget. My parents had gone out for a dinner party, leaving me alone in our modest house. It was just me, the creaking floors, and a soft hum of the clock ticking away in the living room. I sat on the couch trying to focus on a movie, but every shadow seemed darker than the last. The wind whispered through the cracked window, sending chills down my spine. Suddenly, the doorbell rang, slicing through the quiet like a scream. I hesitated, my heart pounding, but it was probably just the pizza delivery guy. That's what my mom said. So I got up and opened the door a crack. The man standing there looked ordinary enough, but something about his smile didn't reach his eyes. He held the pizza box, but then he asked me a question that made me freeze. "Are your parents really not home tonight, just you?" His voice was low, almost too casual, but the coldness underneath it was unmistakable. I swallowed hard. "Yes, they went out. I'm alone." He tilted his head, as if considering something dark and terrible. For a moment I thought he might leave, but then his eyes locked on mine, and he said, "That's very brave of you." It didn't feel like a compliment. It felt like a warning. I slammed the door shut before I could say more, the echo of his words ringing in my ears. I locked every door and window, but the feeling of being watched crawled over me like icy fingers. Minutes later, the unmistakable sound of footsteps, deliberate, slow, coming from the side of the house, made my blood run cold. I called my parents, but only reached their voicemail. Panic gripped me as I dialed 911, whispering my address with trembling hands. The night stretched endlessly, the flashlight in my hand casting long shadows on the walls. Every sound, every creak, every rustle was amplified in that silence. Finally, sirens pierced through the darkness, and 2 officers burst in. They searched the house thoroughly but found no sign of the man. He had vanished like a ghost, leaving me with questions that had no answers. Was he a threat? Or just a disturbed soul? The police said it might have been a prank, but I knew better. That night, the quiet town wasn't safe anymore. Weeks later, I joined some college friends for a weekend getaway in a remote cabin deep in the woods, far from the town, far from that night. We arrived as the sun dipped below the horizon, laughter and music filling the air. The cabin was charming, rustic, and smelled of pine and old wood. We thought it was the perfect escape. The first evening was peaceful, but as darkness settled, an uneasy feeling crept in. One of my friends noticed movement outside the window, a man standing motionless in the shadows just beyond the tree line. We all stared, breath caught in our throats, but when she blinked, he was gone. That night, sleep didn't come easy. Every creak of the cabin, every howl of the wind sounded like a threat. Around midnight, the lights flickered and went out, plunging us into pitch black. In the darkness, whispers seemed to echo just beyond our hearing, and the feeling of eyes watching us from outside was overwhelming. Suddenly, one of the friends shouted from the living room, "There's someone at the window." We rushed to find a pale-faced man pressed against the glass, eyes wild and desperate. We screamed and locked all doors, barricading ourselves inside with trembling hands. The phone had no signal, and the nearest neighbor was miles away. Trapped and terrified, we huddled together, each second stretching into an eternity. At dawn, the man was gone, as if swallowed by the forest. We called the police, but after searching the area, they found no trace. No footprints, no sign of how he entered or escaped. Just an empty cabin and 7 shaken friends wondering if the forest kept its secrets close and alive. Both those nights have haunted me ever since. The strangers who appear at the edges of safety may never be caught or understood. Their presence lingers in the shadows, reminders that sometimes the quietest places hide the darkest horrors. And when you think you're safe, listen closely to the silence. It might just be waiting to tell you a story far worse than you imagined.